is going to be the last episode of the Marina Skua podcast for a while. If you've been watching recently or you follow me on Instagram or my newsletter, you probably know that I'm soon going to be wrapping up my work for Christmas and then for my maternity leave. I am hoping to make this a slightly short one, partially because I don't have a huge number of things to show you that I've been working on recently. A couple of projects that I finished lately have been commissions and have already been sent off, and so I can't show them to you. And things have just got super busy. I've been working hard on wrapping everything up for the shop. I'm going to be closing the online shop for physical product sales from Tuesday next week. So that's Tuesday the 21st of December. So if you are watching this around the time I'm recording it, you still have a few days to order yarn from me if you would like to. And after that, it's going to be so that it's just patterns and gift cards that are available there. And that will be the case until sometime next year, probably towards late summer, early autumn. So yes, I'm going to show you a project that if you've watched a lot, you may have seen before, but I finally actually made some progress on it. And that is my big red scrappy cardigan jacket thing. I've been working on it sort of here and there, but I'm finally at the stage where I have finished both of the sleeves, which look massive, and it's definitely going to be super warm and comfy. And so if you saw this project towards the start of it, you can see the amount of yarn I've got that I'm working with is definitely dwindling. And so I'm just managing it, because I'm working with leftovers and bits and pieces of yarn. I'm just managing it so that hopefully the yarn will be able to see me through to a sensibly length jacket. And I'm really pleased with how it's turning out. I'm very glad to be finished with the second sleeve. I pretty much always do sleeves 2 at a time, but for this I didn't, because I'm working with so many yarns. I've got 3 yarns held together here, and doing that on both sides I would end up with 6 strands, and it's just too much mess and chaos, and I knew that it would drive me mad. So I'm gradually learning. So the idea with this is that I'll be able to wear it mostly as an outside thing, so it should theoretically fit nicely over the top of other things I'm wearing. Now I've got this on, I've got the body on slightly too short a cable to show you properly, but I should be able to show you the fit of the sleeves. So there we go. So I've got nice warm sleeves. They're not too baggy. I did consider not doing any shaping on the sleeves, but that would use up a lot more yarn, because I would be decreasing all round the wrist rather than gradually along the length. So in the interests of eking out as much as I could from the yarn, I did shaped sleeves, which I actually really like, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to be carrying on with this. Hopefully I'll get a chance to wear it this winter, and we will see how it does fitting over the bump. So yes, that's a fun one that I'm pleased to be able to dedicate some time to now that I have finished all of my work knitting. And that is incredibly warm. Someone having fun on a motorbike outside. And what I am wearing here, again, which you might have seen previously, but the pattern is now out. This is the pediment jumper. So if I show you here, we've got a little triangular section down the side here of moss stitch, and it's just got some nice little details. You've got a folded over neckline, which gives like a really nice squishy finish. And it's it's not a particularly close neckline, so you can see there's a bit of space around here, which makes it really good for if you like collared shirts. It works well underneath. And it's just something that, it's a fairly basic drop shoulder silhouette, but it has those nice details that make it sort of quite a classic addition to a wardrobe, but also something that isn't without interest. So I've been wearing this a lot because it goes with pretty much everything and I love it. The wool is from, the yarn is from Wool Decanted, which is a fairly new yarn company in the UK, and I love them. I really like the yarn they're producing. They're working with farms within the UK, so it's all completely traceable. And they're just making beautiful yarn. And so yes, this is the pediment jumper. I'll be putting the link to the pattern below, as well as to Wool Decanted and their yarn. And so I think in terms of my own projects, that's sort of all I have to show you, because I started working on a baby hat, which was going to be lovely, but I was working with a very small amount of yarn and ran out of yarn, and so I undid it. And so no baby knits have happened yet, but hopefully once I'm on leave I'll have a little bit of time to do some of those. But also it's nothing particularly urgent because I have quite a few things that have been passed down and handed down to me already, so it's not like I'm at a shortage. And recently Anthea of Forest Flower Knits released a pattern, well, a pair of patterns in my Mend It 4-ply yarn. Fairly simple colour work. They are called, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, the Elmer hat and mittens. And so she made two different versions. One of the versions was in this colour combination, which is a really interesting one. It's not a combination I would have put together myself because I just have a very specific colour aesthetic, which I will show you shortly in something that I'm just going to do a quick review of. But it works really nicely as a set of colours because you've got from the lightest white there through the green and the red and then to the dark purple and the really dark grey there. So these are all dyed on the Sunny Mend It 4-ply base. This one's sheep, this red one is ore, and we've got sage, plum and coal. I talked about these a little bit in a Q&A I did last week, so if you would like to hear me answer some more questions about things, please do go and check that out. It's here on YouTube. It would be the previously uploaded video of mine. And so, yes, the patterns are available from Anthea on Payhip and Ravelry, and I believe they are £5 each, but if you buy both, you get the first pattern for £5 and then the second pattern for £1, which means you get both for £6, which is a super good deal. And yes, if you're after the yarn, obviously not much time, but I am running a sale on my shop, so just trying to clear the shelves. So if you are watching within the next couple of days, use the code BABY, all in capital letters, just BABY, and you'll get 15% off all yarn in my shop, and I want to get as much of it sent out to you lovely people as possible. And there are lots of excellent colour combinations that you could put together. Some colours have sold out because they have. I've been running the sale for a little while and I'm really, really grateful to the people who have bought already. And yes, and another release, Claire of Flossy Knits, so Claire Walls, has designed a hat in Mend It 4-ply again. It'll be coming out, I believe, tomorrow, so that'll be Friday the 17th of December. It's a really, really pretty one. It's got lovely twisted stitch details, and I think it just uses one skein of the yarn. So do keep an eye on Claire's. I guess she'll be announcing it on her newsletter and on Instagram to get that pattern, because it's a super nice one. And yes, I think those are those things. Something I did want to do was a quick review of my most popular patterns so far. And it's an interesting one because obviously I'm just going by sales from my Ravelry, and I've just got a few things that if you've been watching regularly you will have seen before, but I just thought I would show you because it's quite interesting once I saw them all together. And yes, some will be more popular because they've been released for a longer period of time, so people have had more chance to buy them. Got here a stack of very, very colour-themed knits. So the first one is the Wayard hat, which is the first pattern that I designed using my Mendip DK yarn. So this is the sheep colourway, and this one is fern, and it just has a nice little design of sort of ferny, planty type fronds, and I like to wear it quite close fitting because I find that is what is comfiest for me, and it doesn't all shift around on my hair. But it can work really nicely as a slightly oversized one, so you can wear it a bit more slouchy. So if you make the larger size, then it works really nicely for that. And there are lots and lots of beautiful versions on Ravelry using a whole host of different colour combinations. But apparently we're really liking the green and grey colour work. So fern is actually one of the only colours that I have good stock of left. Actually, that's not true. There's also quite a bit of the coal, which is the dark grey. But I have good stock of the fern and the sheep if you are at all interested in purchasing some last minute yarn. And that's the Wayard hat, which is on my website and Ravelry, and the pattern will continue to be available throughout my leave. So if you are looking to do any skewer knits, then you will continue to be able to. Next one up is my Galdor cardigan, which is completely in undyed yarn by Woolly Mammoth Fibre Co. At the moment, Emma of Woolly Mammoth Fibres is on maternity leave, and so her yarn is not available, but I think she'll be back in the spring. And this one is just a really, really nice design. It's very easy to throw on top of other things, and I used 3 colours for this one. It's not super obvious, but the grey I've used in the cuffs, in the colour work, and for the contrast facing is slightly different from the main body grey. So the pattern is written like that. I just wanted a bit more contrast for the colour work, but it also means you can use a completely different colour for 3 colours, or you can just use 2 colours and it works beautifully. It's an interesting pattern. It looks fairly simple, but it's got some interesting construction techniques going on. Some people have done it as their first steeked project, which is brave. There is a tutorial for how to do the steek, but it's the way this front band is done is a slightly interesting technique that I'm really, really pleased with. I think it gives a lovely finish. But yes, a bit of knitting experience is probably preferable for this one. And recently, Teresa Shingler, who is a lovely designer, she has made a version where she's done full length sleeves. So she's continued with the stockinette and then done a load of decreases and done a much smaller cuff, but still doing the colour work. So you end up with like a big balloon sleeve type thing, which I think is beautiful. So that is that one, all nice undyed yarn. And this one has held up really beautifully. There's like no pilling on this yarn, and it's not what I would classify as soft yarn. The main colour I've used here is a Blue Texel Cheviot blend, I think, which is not one that you would recommend for softness, but it's actually lovely to wear, and it's just worn really, really nicely. So I'm very pleased with this one. And then the final one I'm going to show you is Boscula, which I still love so much. It has so much of the kind of doodles I do in it. When I used to doodle in class and things, I always did these sort of swirling geometric designs, sort of based on Art Nouveau style, and that blends in really nicely with the fact that I really like including nature motifs in my work. And so even though I really love these deep, warm, reddy orangey colours, the green and grey thing definitely seems to be a thing. And I just really like seeing all the different versions that people have made of this. Again, seeing the different colour combinations that people have chosen and how much it affects the look of it. And it's one where you get a completely different effect if you invert and do a darker main colour and a lighter contrast colour. So the yarn I used for this one is Galfenor number 2 for the natural grey, so this is the colour Shale, and then I used their Pentland in Willow as the contrast for the yoke, cuffs and hem. So I realise this is a shorter video than usual, but I still have a whole load to do in the next few days, so I hope you'll forgive me. I hope you've enjoyed just a quick look at some of the things that are going on at the moment, and if you're watching this at some point in the future while I'm still on break, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you want to watch more of my videos, please do go back and look at my previous episodes. I've been making videos for over 3 years now, so there are quite a few. If you are one of the people who has binged all of them, motorbike friend is back. If you're one of the people who has binged all of my videos on YouTube already, there are exclusive videos on Patreon, which are available to subscribers over there only. In the next couple of days I'm going to be amending my tiers on Patreon, because a lot of the benefits will stop being available just while I'm on leave. But it will be left open for people who want access to the videos, and I'm still going to be keeping my Patreon exclusive Discord server running. And I will be chatting with people there because it'll just be really nice to keep in touch with lovely people in the yarn community. And so yes, that's sort of me almost done. I will still continue to be on Instagram, but I'll only really be posting personal projects. I'm going to be doing a handful of days of work spread out across the next few months just to keep on top of things. but it's going to be really sporadic. I won't really be answering work emails, I won't be answering work questions via DM and stuff. Hoping to just take some time to look after the baby and also move house, and it's all going to be chaos. But please do, if you like my videos, stay subscribed, because I am planning on coming back in a few months and I will probably have loads of things to share with you. And if you want to hear when I'll be selling yarn again, I will be announcing that in the first instance on my newsletter. So please sign up over there if you want to hear when everything is up and running again. And so in the meantime, I hope you have a lovely rest of winter and spring, and keep crafting. And I'll catch you later. Bye bye.